this as making constant progress. Okay, no matter what you're doing, you might have to retreat a little bit, but you're never going back to zero. Okay, you gain a little ground, and when you hit the roadblock, which inevitably will happen, instead of trying to bash through the roadblock and force your way through it, you're looking for the path of least resistance, like water down a river. It flows around stuff to get to its final destination. So that's the idea behind this principle. Constant progress, being like water, where like Bruce Lee said, water can crash and it can flow. And we want to find the balance there, but we're going to mostly focus on flowing around those obstacles that pop up. So I want to start us off today with something called flow rolling. All right, Peter, come on out. So Peter and I will do a little demonstration of flow rolling, and I think a bunch of you guys have done this before. There are a few new ones, so you guys pay attention. Flow rolling is movement-based jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm not trying to beat Peter. Peter's not trying to beat me. If I do go for a submission, it's not to tap him. It's to transition to another submission or allow him to escape. The effort level is very low. Flow rolling can be done fast, but it's really more, I guess a good way to think about this is it's very thoughtful. It's very mindful in its approach. So I hope that the idea gets across with this right here. Everything that I'm doing, though, is real. Okay, so you get the idea. There's still tension there, but we're flowing around each other, as you can see. One thing that I dislike when I go into a flow roll with somebody who's not very good at it is they do things that they wouldn't normally do in a match. So I'll try to demonstrate that. So you're trying to do a good flow roll, and I'm being the spazzy, weird guy who doesn't quite understand. Okay, ready, go. Okay, that was just silliness. So try to replicate a match as much as possible, but flowing around each other. All right, let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. this idea of flow rolling and the water or river principle of constant progress in spite of obstacles that are in your way. Progress even though there's a boulder right in front of you. We're going to find ways to go around those boulders. So I'm going to feed for you, Peter. So Peter, you're finding constant progress, but here's the deal. I'm going to go at a pace where you can be mindful of what's happening so that you understand why you're doing what you're doing. And why you're doing it is because there's a roadblock in front of you and you have to go around it. So this should be definitely done slower, more methodical, more mindful. Again, this can flow in all over the place in our match, so starting like this is fine. As we go, I'm going to put up strong walls of resistance. And I'll kind of pause there as long as necessary for you to figure out how to go around that. And then we move on. So I think it'll be clear what we're doing here. Okay, ready to go. Okay, so did I make that clear enough? Could you see the walls of resistance that I would put up? And then I would give him time to think about where he needed to go. And, there's still the idea of this flow aspect to it, this seamless transition from one thing to the next. However, I'm doing my part, though, in stopping so that he can recognize those walls of resistance and give him the opportunity to figure out where it needs to go. Anything you want to add on that?
Yeah,
for either party?
Yeah, being aware of the angles. Sometimes it means backing up, kind of go around the other way. Sometimes I think it wasn't the first way I went.
Yeah.
I tried to go a different way and I had to go back around, or don't forget combos and all the other principles.
Yep. Okay, so have fun with this. Find a partner. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Start standing here. So I'm going to snatch up a single leg, which we've been doing the last couple weeks. I think we've had some single leg techniques in our principal training sessions. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to snatch up the single leg. Okay, I have good posture when I come in. I'm not putting my head down with my hips up and coming in with a single there. I have good posture. Step in, straight back, wrapping up that leg. I'm going to the leg. I'm not reaching and trying to pull it towards me. I'm moving towards the leg, and watch what I do. I move him back with my body. That's how I want to hit the single leg. I'm not trying to grab the leg and pull it towards me. I'm moving into it. I'm moving into it here. All right, now Peter is going to get this leg back to the ground. Okay, so I need to, measure my pace here and my pressure. And he's going to get that leg back to the ground. So I snatch up the single, and he pulls it back to the ground. He's framing with his arm to measure the distance or to keep me from fully coming in. He gets it back to the ground. So that's the roadblock. He's forming a wedge here, and he's getting his leg back to the ground. So I go around it here for the double. So now I'm into a double leg. And we'll just stop there. I got more to add to this, but that's our first flow drill. Where I come in for the single leg, Peter puts up a roadblock there. My head gets caught in his gi. Let's try that again. I come in for the single leg, right into the double. Rather than fighting fruitlessly to try to finish this when I'm clearly not going to finish it, and he'll put me down there. I need to be able to flow around that roadblock. He needs to let me have the single leg to start with. So don't be too premature on this. Shut me down too soon. Yeah, so that's not gonna work for our drill. I come in, I get it. He pulls back, and then I come in. Okay, my head goes tight against his rib. I'm picking up this leg. This leg is tapping the knee. And then if I was gonna finish him, I would keep driving that way over there, but we'll just stop right there. Okay, you get the idea? You can do this back and forth with your partners. You have a question?
Do you stop or do you get double leg?
Yeah. You don't have to put them down to the ground. A little bit, unnecessary wear and tear on our partners. So just kind of off balance them on the double leg, but then just stop there. Okay.
Were you shooting twice? Is it 2 shots?
I wouldn't say it's 2 shots. It's a redirection though. So I'm clearly shooting here. Okay, now he just defends it. I'm re-shooting there. So they're kind of blended together. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. When I'm being the boulder and he's being the water flowing around me, I like to position myself in the ideal position for Peter so that he can feel what that ideal position is like. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's just do the single to double. He shoots the single. Hey, I have structure to me. I have base. I have balance. I have my frames ready to go. And now I'm getting my leg back behind me. Look at my posture. I'm at this perfect 45-degree angle for him to transition into there. I've worked with a lot of people before where they don't know how to be a good partner on my end, and they stand too upright, and it makes it hard for Peter. And they're standing in a position that they wouldn't normally stand in if it was a live go. So go shoot the single. Shoot the double. Okay, it makes it very awkward for him to try to get in there. And in order for him to get in there now he has to put a little bit more sauce on it. Okay? So I want to create the flow for Peter. Go ahead. I create the flow for Peter. Okay, now here's what we add. Off that double, I put a roadblock in, and the roadblock is I sprawl. I sprawl in the double. He feels that coming, and instead of getting smashed down to the ground, he flows around it to my back. Single. Into the double. I sprawl. To the back. Other side. Single. To the double. I sprawl, and he goes to the back. As soon as he feels that downward pressure. One more time. He just goes around that problem and around to the backside, getting ready to attack the turtle. Any questions? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I shoot the single on Peter. He roadblocks me. I transition to the double. He roadblocks me, turn the corner to the back, and now he's gonna sit to guard here. So here's the roadblock. I wanted to attack the turtle after that move to the back, and now he's smart. He sits to a guard, and now he's got all of these roadblocks, all of these boulders in front of me. So as he does this, so notice his posture. Let's come back to that turtle position. I shot the double on this side, so I'm right here. What makes the most sense? Should Peter turn into me? Go ahead and turn into me. No. Away from me, I guess. Should Peter turn away from me? No, that's not smart on his part. So what is smart is to turn away from me here, because this is how he can re-guard. Otherwise, he's just exposing his back again. All right, so he's got all of these roadblocks here. I'm going to control this bottom leg. I can just put my palm there, or we can get a grip on the pant like so. This is a big roadblock right here. This is huge, because as I try to come in, this measures the distance here. We got to get by this sucker. Control the bottom leg. I get some elevation. I get up on my toes, and I get off my knees. And let's turn this way. My hand's on his hip, but I got to get rid of this somehow. So I'm going to move and get my elbow on the inside. He's got the knee shield. I can't just get my elbow on the inside. I have to move my body, and then I get the elbow on the inside, and I stay with my head low so that he can't re-pummel back in. So in, head's low, and I can track with my elbow where it needs to go. If I just keep it here, he can do that. So as I get it in, if he wants to go low, I track. If he wants to go high, I track. Right there with my hand on his hip. And then this hand is pushing down, and then as I run by, it's going to push through. Here, as I run by, I push through, and I put my shoulder on his shoulder here for the pass, and then I can consolidate. Single leg, switch to the double, switch to the back, he sits to guard, hand, I got to beat this boulder right here up to my toes, circle that elbow to the inside, start running, push, and flatten him out. I don't stop pushing until I get him to be flat. I don't stop pushing until his legs are pointing away from me. Okay, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. totally new sequence here. Again, just trying to, on all of these, these principles that we go over, I just try to have drills that we do to get the idea across to you. And these might certainly come up in a jiu-jitsu roll or a match, but they're more to help you think about the principle so that you can identify the principle when it's appropriate in a live roll and problem solve yourself. Okay, so this next one is from side control. Let's go like this, Peter, I think. Okay, so look what he's doing to me. He has the cross face. He's got a far side control on my hip here, and I'm wrapped around him here. I'm going to get my elbow in. I can use some pressure here with my bicep to help drop my elbow in. And in a perfect world, I would elbow knee escape to guard. Drop the elbow. Hips come out a little bit. Knee comes in. I start pushing with the hand and the shin. And I start lining our bodies up to recompose a guard. Peter's going to throw a boulder, a roadblock in my way. I do this all the time in Peter's position. I know that Peter does this a lot. As soon as he feels that I want to chase my legs back in, oftentimes this happens. He feels me wanting to chase my legs back in, and look at what he's doing with his hand. He's blocking it and completely shutting down my ability to get my hips back in. Notice what he did with this hand. He circled it to the other side. Okay, so watch that again. So it's Peter's response to me trying to get my elbow knee back in is to block the hip and do a reverse crossface on this side. Now there's no way that I'm going to get my knee back in to recompose guard. So I go around the boulder. I'm not going to try to force my way in fruitlessly. I'm going to go around the boulder. So watch what I do. Take this hand. I bring it out, put it right on his hip. I spin out the other way. It's not a ghost escape. It's a little bit different. It's just kind of a spin out. Okay? So he recognized that I'm trying to turn into him. He blocks that hip, hand on the other side. Now it's a lost cause. So I go around the problem. Hand comes to his far hip here. I still have pressure with my arm on the side of his face. And now my legs become light and I spin on my back here. Bonus move. Spin into a triangle. He blocks. Hand. Push. Foot on the hip. Leg comes back around. And then into our triangle. Watch Peter go. I feel him wanting to get back in, so I block it. Again. Block, post. And into the triangle if you so desire. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm excited to keep exploring the river principle with you guys, the idea of constant progress. That when we come upon that boulder or that roadblock, instead of trying to smash our way through it, which can work, we find the path of least resistance. Like water down a river, and we flow around those obstacles. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's get to some live rounds now. Ready? 1, 2, 3.